All right, hi everybody, and welcome to my home. Here we are in the basement again, and I am going to show you how I change the strings on my acoustic guitar. The first thing that I make sure that I do before I even start is that there are no pets in the room. I make sure that they're out of the room and that the door is closed. I look at the strings as starting at the top being 1. I think other people look at it the other way around, where the high E is the first string. Ooh. So I'm gonna start loosening these up and then I'll just talk as I go along. What I do is I just start going down like this. When I'm loosening my strings up, I pretty much have it set where I had it before going in, and I just pretty much turn it to that exact same place. I usually might go a little bit farther, like one more turn to the side. I always want to do one string at a time. You always want to leave like a good amount of tension on the neck. So these pegs specifically, mainly this top one, is always like super tight in there. I take this and I kind of like pry it out. You are going to need some tools for this. Your wire cutters to chop off the ends. I like to have some needle nose pliers just in case. I like to have this tiny little hammer because especially like this one on the top. Let's talk strings. I use the medium size. They're 13 gauges. The gauge is indicated by the diameter of the high E string. Light medium is pretty standard for acoustic. For 13s, it would be 0.013 inches diameter of the high E string. These are the new version in plastic packages. I still have these in the box from back in the day. I bought like boxes and boxes and boxes and just stored these away. I'm at the end of my last boxes from like 10 years ago. Yeah, 6. Everybody else does it backwards than me. What I do, this is the way I was taught. You string through here, and the amount of slack that you leave, about 3 fingers. You pull backwards and turn, tightening at the same time. This piece, you're gonna want this to go under the top string as it turns. Slide under like that. Can you see? For this one especially, as you're pulling and turning, this is gonna start to come up. Want to keep pushing it back down so that it stays back in there. These thicker strings aren't as dangerous as the higher ones. The higher they go, the thinner they could have a tendency to pop. Pretty much everybody who's played guitar for long enough. As I'm tightening, I face this thing away from me. There you go. Don't try to even make it exact. This is pretty tight, which is just indicating I probably didn't leave enough slack when we began. That's gonna be okay. I leave these dangling out until I'm fully done with all of this, and then I cut them off all at once. So this is an Ibanez SGT 120 TRS. I bought this guitar in the mid-2000s because I didn't have enough money. This guitar is a Sage series. It's an entry-level acoustic. These were made from 2007 to 2012. Why don't I just buy a more expensive guitar now, right? I could, I suppose. I'm fine with this. There we go. Like I said, I don't know. It's not that I don't like nice things. I've only played shitty guitars most of my life, let's be real. D. As I'm going along, I pull the string a little bit. I'm like loosening to make sure we're not getting crazy tension to where things are gonna snap. See, I'm like checking it. Ooh! Exhibit A. That's why I had it faced away from me. I don't think I've ever had a D string pop on me when I was stringing it with these in the box. So I've got some old round 2. They used to be longer. Leave more slack. That's just the way it is. Things change. Fuck. Oh my God. I've been playing guitar for like I took a break, but over 20 years. This has never happened to me in my life. I am going to loosen this tuning key like more than I normally would. I apologize for blaming the new strings because it clearly is not that. Third time's a charm. I'm not even embarrassed. I have to play guitar, so like one of these strings is going to have to work. And it is going to be this one. You know, I think Lifespan 2.0 treated phosphor bronze. Lifespan 2.0 treated are supposed to be more like the old school version of them. I'm gonna try this one more time. Here we go. Please, please, please. I'm going to like... This is what they suggest for these newer modern strings. That you pull this as tight into here as possible. That seems better. Feels pretty loose. Fourth time's a charm. It's breaking here. That was one time around. I don't know what to think about this, man. All right, well, okay. We gotta stay positive. Let's turn this around. This could be good, because we're going to solve this all together as a group. I was gonna like show people how to change acoustic guitar strings and go on with my day or whatever. And the one time, pop the freaking D string 4 times in a row. Fuck it. I don't even know how to solve this problem at the moment. This is how it goes, you know? Life of a musician. Trial, error, troubleshooting, solving problems, crying, breaking things. It's been like about an hour and a half. Like, I'm just upset about this whole thing. Now, what we have to do is try to figure out exactly what's going on here. So I'm just trying to like separate these all out to figure out which one's which. I don't really see any difference. I mean, they seem to be like this one's one of the older ones, and I can tell just because it's a different color. They feel exactly the same. There's no like discernible difference in just looking at these. I'm gonna try to explore a little bit further. I want to know exactly like if my guitar is just, you know, possibly like too old make a model of old school. All right. No. Let me have this, please. The core is not what snapped here. It was that edge right there on the edge of the wrap. We will investigate and report back. So here we are having dinner, and I'm not going to say that this string fiasco has plagued my entire day. Nothing has changed about the guitar. The strings have changed over the years. However, I used multiple different types of strings when I'm trying to do this exercise, so I don't believe that we can blame that. Literally the whole inside the tuning key could have developed like little burrs or razor edges that potentially whenever like the tension is going, it could just like cut the string right there. So I'm gonna go downstairs and investigate this tiny little hole inside of the tuning key and see what I see. It looks like maybe there is. See that little groove right there? You know, it's hard for me to tell if like that is actually a thing. I literally have never heard of this before. I don't know. I mean, potentially, you know, you could replace. Somebody might have the answer here if they've had this happen before.